Okay, here we got a basically new old stock Citroen 2CV 1990. It's a 2CV6 Club, 28 horsepowers. Was produced for the German target market originally. We found that car back in 2000. It was at a collector's place. The owner had it basically inside his living room. The house was beautiful and almost very close to the Blackwood Forest. 2 stories, living room. On the lower level, he had the 2CV with a Harley Davidson inside. And after we found the car and purchased it, we did some maintenance work, shipped it over to the US and sold it here in, I think it was 2002. Uh, the car was bought by a couple of collectors. They never really drove it. Before we shipped it over, after we purchased it, the car had 8,800 kilometers in 10 years. During the next 23 years in the US, the car was driven less than 8,000 kilometers. So it's less than 7,000, 17,000 kilometers now, a bit over 10,000 miles from new. Everything you're looking here is factory original, except for a few things that we had to replace because they just needed replacement after 35 years. For instance, there's the roof. The roof deteriorates after that kind of time. The tires, obviously. So the car got brand new tires. I changed the valve stems as well. So it got new tires, new valves. I electronically balanced all the wheels, which is hard to do. I got the machine so I can electronically balance them. Uh, Other than that, we replaced the seat covers because the seat covers inside have a foam layer. And that foam deteriorates. And once it's deteriorated, when you sit on it, it rains down like rust. It looks red, like rusty underneath. So brand new seat covers here with fresh foam. Nothing like that's going to happen. Then we had replaced the original rubber floor mats because they trap the moisture and the water underneath. And that promotes rust of the floor panels. So since this car has never really driven before, when you look at it, it's all factory original panels. All the paint, all the panels on the entire car are factory original. Nothing's been repainted. Nothing's been replaced. Back seat here. Let me raise the carpet. So same picture here. We got the original chassis in the center. We got the original floor panels, everything factory original. Then I replaced the mirrors because the plastic trim here, after that long of a time, gets brittle. So it looks ugly. Brand new mirrors, left and right. Yeah, the mileage, as I said, is just under 17,000 kilometers, not miles. And that's the original mileage of that car. Then let's look under the hood. The first owner had upgraded some things, just cosmetic stuff. He had put chrome headlight buckets on. He had replaced the front grille, which originally in this car would be just flat gray. So he put the fancy chrome trim on it, which I had to replace because the chrome had faded over the years. So it's new chrome trims. Also the front bumper I replaced because the first owner had put some fog lights on the bumpers, which are useless because they're just wobbling around. You can't see a thing with it. And once I removed them, we had these big holes in the bumper. So now in goes a brand new bumper. All right, in the engine compartment, you'll see we got a brand new battery because the battery only lasts for a few years. Then I also replaced the air filter because the foam deteriorates. So we got a brand new air filter here, cleaned everything up. I did all the maintenance work, engine oil, transmission oil, oil filter, all fresh. Ignition was completely redone. Spark plugs, spark leads, points, capacitor, everything new. I redid the carburetor, cleaned out the carburetor, adjusted everything. I replaced the fuel hoses because the rubber again gets brittle and causes problems. Down on the chassis there's a inline fuel filter that I added. Citroen never had that, but it is not a bad thing to have a fuel filter. Then for the engine itself, I pulled the engine, replaced some seals, crankshaft seals that are notorious for starting leaks after such a long time. So brand new here. While I had the engine out, the manifold here, it's not painted and not protected in any way. So that starts rusting, which is perfectly normal, but it just doesn't look nice enough for a car like that. So I removed the uh, manifold system here, sandblasted and painted it. Same goes for the heating, heat exchangers, the heating boxes here, and the clamps. All that was cleaned and refreshed. I replaced the heating hoses because the foam uh, in all three of them was deteriorated and like chewing gum. Then for the transmission, I pulled the stub axles. This is something I do on every car I sell these days because the oil seal on the stub axle starts leaking over time. It's a time issue, not that much the mileage. And then you get uh, transmission fluid into the brakes, which is not where that belongs to be. So I always replace the oil seals on the stub axles down here. And for that, I have to remove the entire brake system. So we put fresh brake pads on and fresh parking brakes. And while I had the stub axles out, I also replaced the bearings in the stub axles as preventive measure. Was not necessary, but once you're down that deep into the system, it doesn't cost much for the material and you have to take it apart anyway. So yeah, and then also replace the first silencer. Again, it was absolutely not necessary, but hope you can see it down here. It looks fresh and nice. The original one, again, they're not painted, so when you drive it, they develop superficial rust, and that just doesn't look nice when you pop the hood open of a basically new car and you see a rusty muffler. So that's why it got a brand new one. Again, kind of preventive work, preventive maintenance. For the brakes, after I redid everything, of course, it got fresh LHM. So no DOT has ever been in this car. It's all good. Yeah, that's basically what I remember. Just look at the inside of the hood. The original sound dampening mat here. Nothing hanging down, nothing deteriorated, just in great shape. Let's take a look at it. Also, the outside mirrors, I replaced them because the plastic trim around the mirrors gets brittle just by the time, keep in mind 35 years. So we got brand new mirrors here. Then take a look to the inside here, inside of the doors, door cards, everything original and basically brand new. Another thing the first owner added were the aluminum gravel shields here, rotary trims, nice add-on, and also the chrome hubcaps. They were also not original, and the locking gas cap is not factory original. This is all upgrades. Then we have the trunk where you can see the new Well, it's not brand new, but it's never been used. Spare tire. We have the wooden wedge. We have the front grill muff for winter use. We have the hand crank, so the car can still be crank started. I always throw in a spare light bulb kit because some of these light bulbs are getting hard to find here, and it's better to have one if you need one. So here we have it. Basically a new old stock, factory original, except for the parts that we had to replace because they deteriorated or went bad after 35 years in storage. Original, less than 17,000 kilometers, never driven or almost never driven the last 23 years while it was here in the US. And we only got it back because of a death in the family. So that was unfortunate, but that's your opportunity now to own this car.